So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show before the show. And I'm here to present the Down and Dirty on the 2026 show. Okay, so an overview of what we're going to be covering tonight. I will be announcing the 2026 show theme, presenting the highly anticipated pin competition winner, covering the 2026 faculty, which I know is the bit that everybody's waiting to hear, announcing the banquet, looking at the fashion show. We have some special people that we're going to announce, the Quilter of the Year and also our scholarship recipient. There's a bit of an update on both the judged and the unjudged quilt submission categories. We'll be giving an overview of the special exhibits that we'll be having at the show, recapping on the President's Challenge. We also will be announcing what the 2026 Challenge Pack will be. There will be some door prizes. And at the end, there will be questions. It's a pretty long presentation, so I ask that if you could hold your questions to the end, that would be very helpful. So this year, our theme for the show is sustainability in quilting. And you'll see that the faculty that we've selected and also the exhibitions, some of the exhibitions that we're having will reflect that theme. And here we are, the moment you've all been waiting for, revealing the 2026 pin competition winner. Just to recap, we received quite a few entries for this, and the winner was selected by the board. They weren't aware of who each submission came from, so it's a completely blind selection. The pin will be included in the price for all advanced registrations this year, and it will also be for sale at the show if you want to stock up on some more. The prize is a choice of 1 3-hour class at the show, a free day ticket, some swag, and also, most importantly, bragging rights. So, dun, 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 the winner of the pin competition is Sandra Borschkatz. Well done, Sandra. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
And the funny thing is, I'm sure Sandra's kind of like sniggering to herself at home, but I kind of bullied her into making a submission. So you see, it all paid off well in the end.
I still have bruises, Alex. Thanks a lot. That's awesome. Thank you.
So we'll get down to business and introduce our 2026 faculty. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. We have 20 faculty at the show this year, so there's a lot of information. The slides from this presentation will be available afterwards. There'll be a recording of this on YouTube. And as you'll see, we'll be launching the website with more information at a slightly later date. So if I flip through this quickly, I apologize, but we probably don't still want to be doing this at midnight. Oh, I don't want to still be doing this at midnight. So our keynote speaker this year that we're very excited about is Julia McLeod. Julia is based in the Bay Area. She's originally from England, so that's a big thumbs up. And she really works with a lot of recycled fabrics and especially silk. She's going to be the keynote speaker at the banquet. She also has a special exhibition with us, which I'm really excited about. And she's going to be teaching a series of classes and some lectures as well. And I will let Julia announce herself in her own words.
Hello, my name is Julia McLeod, and I will be coming to St. Cloud, Minnesota in June of 2026. I'm very happy to be one of your speakers and one of your teachers at the Minnesota Quilt Show. I specialize in working with silks and upcycled textiles. I'll be giving 2 lectures, teaching 4 classes, and I will also have a special exhibit of my work. You can see some pineapple quilts. I'll be teaching the pineapple block. This quilt is all about using upcycled neckties and silks. We'll be doing foundation piecing and crazy piecing. And then this is a quick block called smithereens. Another class is this cute little decoration that you can make. It's 3-dimensional English paper piecing. So join me for all of those things, and I'll be speaking at the banquet. I'm really looking forward to being with you all in Minnesota in June.
So just to recap the classes that Julia will be offering with us. The first one is a 6-hour workshop starting with silk. In this workshop, you'll identify silks, you'll explore fusible stabilizers, and also master improvisational crazy piecing and fabric foundation piecing. You'll draft your own muslin foundations, and it'll give you confidence working with delicate fabrics prone to slipping and fraying like silk. She's also going to be teaching a 3D EPP class to create these eye-catching 3-dimensional objects. She will explore fussy cutting to create kaleidoscopic effects and embellish with pretty bits like beads and buttons. And this hands-on workshop will be blending traditional techniques with some creative experimentation. Every participant will leave with a finished or in progress piece. She will also be teaching, as she mentioned, the smithereens class. This is a fast, easy to piece block, and it has a scrappy look to it. And it's ideal for upcycling those ties, silk ties, shirts, and other cottons. You'll be guided step by step through a 12-block sample with tips for scaling up to larger quilts. And she'll also be giving a lecture, Rescue Me, and this focuses on transforming thrifted clothing, vintage blocks, and other fabrics like kimonos into quilts. And she'll give techniques for taming unusual fabrics and how to create interesting things from salvage materials. The next faculty member, which we'll have at the show, is Medei Delgado. Medei is a sustainable quilter and textile artist. She likes blending techniques like hand stitching, block printing, and takes inspiration from Japanese mending traditions and also her own Cuban heritage. She'll be presenting the Trash Talk lecture at the Sustainable Fashion Show, and she'll also be having a special exhibition with us.
Hi, my name is Medei Delgado, and I will be joining the faculty for the Minnesota Quilter Show in 2026. This is my 5th show since 2018, and I love my Minnesota Quilters family. I will be presenting a lecture called Trash Talk, Sustainability and Focus. I will be teaching a workshop on boro, which is a Japanese hand stitching technique. I will also be leading a sashiko hand stitching workshop and drafting. We're going to be also doing a curve piecing class without templates, improv style, and an improv color play workshop also by Sewing Machine, where we sort and create different textures, compositions, depending on what colors you select for your artwork. I hope you will join us. I think it's going to be a really fun show filled with some great surprises, and I hope to see you there. Thank you.
So just to recap on Medei's classes, she'll be teaching a boro perspective, which is a 3-hour workshop, which is hands-on, using improvisation, running stitches, and sashiko thread. She'll be transforming scraps and rescued textiles into panels. She'll be providing some denim scraps and also pre-cut organic appliques, and that will expand the design options. And you'll be creating finished panels, which can be then evolved into garments or pieces of quilts. The second workshop that she'll be teaching is the Art of Improvisational Curves, which is, again, a 3-hour workshop. Here you'll be discovering the magic of curves in this hands-on workshop, using improvisation, color, and design to explore organic curves and learn techniques for sewing beautiful curves without templates. She'll be giving guidance on curve piecing, and it will give confidence to turn ordinary shapes into extraordinary patterns. She will also be doing a 3-hour workshop called Improv Color Play. Here, sorted fabric scraps will be in ranges of colors and shapes and sizes, will be placed as a form of storytelling. This again is a hands-on workshop where you get to experiment with color and scale and placement. And it can be either for a seasoned quilter or for somebody who's exploring improvisation for the first time. She will also be teaching a 3-hour workshop on sashiko stitching and drafting. Here, she'll be teaching timeless art of sashiko and focusing on extending the life of textiles and also creating, designs onto new pieces as well. She'll be teaching 2 different versatile designs which you can use on any size of cloth. The next faculty member that we'll be welcoming this year is Laurie Adamitz. Laurie is a Minnesota native and had a 33-year career as a 911 dispatcher. After that, she fell in love with collage quilting, and in particular, Laura Hine designs. I'll let Laurie introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Laurie Adamitz, and I'm so excited to share my love for fabric collage with you. Have you ever admired the vibrant world of fabric collage and thought, I wish I could do that? Well, now you can. I've been teaching this playful art form for over 8 years, and the best part is seeing the incredible results my students create. I promise it's easier than you think. Please join me on June 11th for a fun hands-on workshop, Fabric to Art Collage Fun. I will guide you step by step in creating a charming tomato pincushion collage. Hope to see you there.
Laurie will be teaching Fabric to Art Collage Fun. That is a 6-hour workshop. She'll be turning fabric scraps into vibrant, whimsical art using a Laura Hine teeny tiny collage design. She'll work with prepping and organizing the fabrics, master fusing techniques, and also choosing details that really make the collage shine. And this is something that would be perfect for all skill levels. Our next faculty member that we'll be welcoming back is Rose Allen. As I'm sure many of you know, Rose has a degree in textile design and also a master's in art education from the U of M. She particularly enjoys teaching beginner quilters, and she'll be returning this year with her beginner quilting series. I shall let Rose introduce herself.
I'm Rose Allen. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the beginner's track that we are offering at the Minnesota Quilt Show in June. I am teaching 4 one-hour sessions. The first 2 preparing your fabric for quilting and piecing for success are for those of you that have maybe never quilted before, want to know how to use a rotary cutter, how to cut accurately, and how to do a scant 1/4-inch seam. In the afternoon, those are in the morning, in the afternoon, I have one session on using your walking foot, a marvelous tool that's going to help you get a lot of quilts done. And lastly, I'm doing an hour session on binding. So I encourage you to think about it, or if you've got a friend coming with you who's interested in learning a bit about how to quilt, have them sign up for my classes. I'd love to see you there. See you in June. Bye-bye.
So Rose will be offering 4 sessions. The first is of the beginning quilting series, is preparing your fabric for quilting, which is a hands-on session covering essential fabric preparation skills, including straightening, understanding grain, accurate measuring, and safe rotary cutting techniques. Also exploring the benefits of starch and learning to use tools with confidence. And you can take this as an hour standalone class, or you can take it as part of the series. The second part of the series is Piecing for Success. And in this workshop, you'll discover how to achieve an accurate 1/4-inch seam, also choose the right thread and stitch length, press effectively, and most importantly, of course, keep your blocks square. And again, this can be taken as a standalone or as part of the 4-class series. The third part of the series is Quilting with Your Walking Foot, which is exploring what a walking foot does, how to attach it, how to adjust the presser foot pressure, and also choosing the right stitch length for smooth, even quilting. The fourth part of the series is Binding a Quilt, and here you would learn how to cut, join, press binding, master clean mitered corners, and this covers both machine and hand finish binding methods. The next faculty that we'll be welcoming to the show this year is Eileen Bartos. Eileen has been quilting for 30 years, and her work has been featured in galleries and shows. She's written a couple of books and is the author of Maple Leaf Quilts and Spectacular Rectangles. And she now creates patterns and kits for her contemporary designs. We'll let Eileen introduce her class in her own words.
Hi, I'm Eileen Bartosh, and I'm so excited to let you know that I will be teaching in Minnesota this year in St. Cloud at the show in June. So I hope you can come. I'm going to be teaching fall leaves, which is an applique class. I do have 7 different leaf shapes, and you can choose which one you like best. We're doing applique, of course, and also satin stitching, beading, foiling, and herky-jerky quilting or free motion zigzag. Plus, we'll be making these cute little hangers. I do have kits in a variety of colorways, and the kit includes everything you need to make the top except black thread. And then, of course, it doesn't include batting or backing. So I really hope to see you. This is a very fun class, and I've always had a great time teaching it, and I know the students have been having a fun time too. So hope to see you in June.
So in Eileen's full leaf class, it's a 3-hour workshop where you'll create a vibrant 12 by 12 leaf themed wall hanging, and it will explore multiple techniques, including fusible applique, statin stitching, free motion zigzag quilting, foiling, beading, and of course, making Eileen's signature copper hangers. She'll have kits that you can purchase, or you can bring your own fabrics if you would like to do that. The next faculty member that we'll be welcoming this year is Colleen Carlson. Colleen has had award-winning quilts in juried shows in Houston, Paducah, Road to California, and QuiltCon. She blends her artistic eye honed through art studies with the precision and professionalism from her 40-year pharmacy career. Colleen is a certified judge with the NACQJ, and she will in fact be one of the judges at our show this year.
Hi, I'm Colleen Carlson, and I am excited to join the faculty of the Minnesota Quilt Show 2026. My face might be familiar to some of you, as I've been attending the show for years. I live in North Dakota, and I'm right across the border at Grand Forks. I'll be teaching a class called Pencil Play, Explore Modern Traditionalism. It's a 3-hour class. No fabric, no UFO. This is a design class, and we'll take a look at the modern side of design. I'll also be giving 2 lectures. One is called Color Beyond the Basics, and the other one is called Accept the Challenge, about challenges. They are a fantastic way for us as quilters to grow, and it's fun to have a horse in the race when there's a competition. I'll also be co-judging the show, and I am a nationally certified quilt judge with the NACQJ. I look forward to meeting you.
So one of Colleen's classes with us will be Pencil Play, Exploring Modern Traditionalism. And as she just said, if you're able to hear her, it's a design class, so no fabric, no UFOs, and she's exploring modern design concepts using traditional quilting shapes through hands-on exercises and mini lectures. So it's designed to stretch design skills. She'll also be doing a lecture, Accept the Challenge, and the objective is to improve your ability to get good results in quilting shows by insights from an experienced quilter and frequent judge. She'll teach you how to approach contest rules, understand judging criteria, and also find strategies to make your entries stand out. She'll also be teaching another lecture, Color Beyond the Basics, which is an advanced color class, skipping the beginner level color wheels and diving really into more advanced concepts, looking at where neutrals belong, how to create special effects, and how to strategically use color to transform your quilts. The next faculty member that we'll be welcoming to the show is Teresa Coates. Teresa has over a decade of experience teaching quilters. She's known probably most for her patterns, specifically her quilt coat pattern. I'll let Teresa introduce herself.
I'm Teresa Coates, and I am excited to join you at the Minnesota Quilt Show this June. I'll be there teaching a number of classes, and I hope to see you in one or maybe more. I'll be talking all about quilt coats and patchwork clothing for a 1-hour lecture, but then you'll be able to join me for a full-day workshop where we're going to actually make our own quilt coats using the Elemental Coat or the Elemental Kids Coat pattern. I'll show you some inside tips on making both the side hustle and the drop zone bags from by Annie. The side hustle is a great little crossbody bag, and it's perfect for hikes, travel, and taking to quilt shows. If you haven't seen the drop zone bag, it's a great little starter project with some size options to create a zipper pouch that can double as a little tray. Cuddle self-binding blankets have been a favorite of mine for years. So I'm really excited to share that with you. And I know that Minky can be a little bit scary for folks, but I promise you're going to leave with a blanket that is soft, cozy, and easier than you think. Then we'll dive into some precision piecing with the Fancy Fox quilt block from Elizabeth Hartman. And once you know how to make that one, you'll be able to make all of her great patterns. So many projects, and I hope that you'll be able to join me for at least one of them. I'm excited to get the chance to meet you at the Minnesota Quilt Show. And until then, happy sewing.
So, Teresa will be teaching the Quilt to Coat, Elemental Coat workshop. That's a 6-hour workshop, creating a coat from pre-quilted fabrics using repurposed textiles. You'll be able to adjust the length, the sleeves, and the neckline for a perfect fit, and gain practical insights from a quilter who's turned pattern designer to find ways to cut into your stash or to hunt down new options from the thrift store. She'll also be teaching Side Hustle Crossbody Bag, which is a 6-hour class. And this versatile bag has 3 zippered compartments to keep your essentials organized. Can be worn crossbody, on your back, or around your waist. And there's 2 different options for strap styles and also 2 sizes. She'll also be teaching the drop zone zippered trays. These are zippered trays open flat to organize craft supplies or small essentials. And she'll walk you through constructing 3 sizes of these, adding grab tags, and also optional hardware, and using soft and stable for durable and polished results on this project. She'll also be teaching the self-binding blanket using Shannon Cuddle or a similar Minky fabric. And here you'll learn how to make finished mitered edges without using a separate binding. And this is a beginner-friendly process that produces a soft plush blanket that resists fraying. She's also going to be teaching the Fancy Fox quilt, which again is a 3-hour project. This is a pattern by Elizabeth Hartman, and you'll be constructing a 6x8 patchwork fox block for beginner-friendly piecing techniques. It works beautifully with fat quarters, fat eighths, 10-inch squares, roll-ups, or scraps. So it's a very versatile pattern. And she provides tips for precision piecing, layout, and block construction. So you'll have a completed block by the end of the project, which you can use as a small project, or you can use the skills to replicate the block for a much larger project. She'll also be giving us a lecture, Quilted Clothing and Patchwork Apparel. The idea of the lecture is to encourage you to bring quilting off the bed and into the wardrobe, and explore ways to incorporate piecing and quilting skills into wearable arts, whether that's coats, dresses, tops, bags, or even shoes. And she'll show numerous examples of how she's done that and give design tips and construction insights. Our next faculty members are Kate Elkema and Nancy Fuka. Kate is a certified judge with the NACQJ, where she currently serves as president. And Nancy is also an NACQJ judge and has judged quilts at a local, regional, and international level. And she will also be one of the judges at our show this year. And this is a short clip with Kate explaining the classes that they will have on offer this year.
is Kate Alcaba. I've been a member of the National Association of Quilt Judges for 20 years, and I've been a member of Minnesota Quilters for twice that long. This year, Nancy Fuca and I will be teaching 2 classes at the Minnesota Quilt Show. The first is the 2-day Introduction to Quilt Judging seminar. This is a comprehensive introduction to the whole judging process. Who should take this class? Show organizers, show volunteers, judging volunteers, teachers, potential judges, long-arm quilters who would like to get advice to give to their clients, and any quilt makers who are interested in improving their own quilt making skills. The second class is the Advanced Quilt Judging Seminar. This is a 1-day class geared for people who have taken the introductory class and would like more information about the actual process of becoming a certified judge.
So to recap on that, Kate and Nancy will be offering Introduction to Quilt Judging Seminar. This is a 12-hour or 2-day seminar, and it's designed to build confidence and knowledge of the quilt judging process. There'll be lectures and also hands-on evaluation of quilt samples, and you'll be learning to assess design, workmanship, write clear and concise comments, and also understand the categories and awards and navigate judging contracts. So who should take it? Well, probably me, because it's for show organizers, but it's also perfect for aspiring judges, teachers, long-arm professionals, and also quilt makers who are just looking to elevate their skills. And they asked that students should bring at least 1 large and 3 to 5 small, less than perfect quilts, which will be used as pieces for judging practice during the seminar. That sounds a little bit scary. The second class that they'll be giving is a 1-day or 6-hour seminar, and this is an advanced seminar. It's designed for people who've taken the first 2-day class and are candidates in the NACQJ certification program or are experienced judges already. And this workshop focuses on sharpening professional judging skills through hands-on practice, team evaluations, strengthening clarity in written comments, and really digging into more of the detail with advanced design principle, art quilts, machine quilting, and the nuances of difficulty and complexity. The class also covers professionalism, ethics, critiques, contracts, and the business aspects of judging, including a mock panel to prepare for certification. And again, you need to bring samples of quilts with you that can be used during that process. Our next faculty member is Amanda Fisk. Amanda is a Sally Tomato educator and teaches using the company's innovative patterns with cork fabric. I'll let Amanda introduce herself.
Welcome to my studio. My name's Amanda and I live in northwestern Wisconsin. I have become a certified educator for Sally Tomato. Many of you may know that they're the company that is known for their cork fabric and their hardware. And I am coming to you to show you a simple project with cork fabric so you can see how versatile it is. So the pattern that we're doing is the Sophie pattern. You will get your own pattern just like this with all the information inside of it. You will get the cork fabric for your project and the hardware. So all 3 things. And then this is a sample that I have. So this is their rose gold. And here is what that looks like. This does hold the huge phones. I have the mega phone and it fits perfectly in there. And then there's also a snap. So sign up for my class. I'd love to show you how to sew on cork fabric. Let's have some fun.
So as Amanda mentioned, she'll be creating the Sophie cell phone and card case bag made from cork. And obviously, once you've learnt to work with cork, that could be applied to other Sally Tomato projects. This includes step-by-step construction, finishing touches, and also tips for handling this unique material. So it's a class that's suitable for beginners and also more experienced sewers. Our next faculty member is Gwen Hamby. Gwen comes back to us this year to teach a EPP class, which is her specialism, and she is also a trained yoga instructor as well. And I'll let Gwen talk about her classes in her own words.
Hello, my name is Gwen Hamby, and I have been an avid quilter for over 5 decades. Most of my passion is spent with EPP, or English paper piecing, where I take perfectly good fabric and turn it into Swiss cheese. I take those Swiss cheese pieces and transform them into my fussy cutting, beautiful, unique designs. Come play with me in June at the Minnesota Quilt Show. This class is ideal for those who have never tried paper piecing, English paper piecing, or those who are wishing to expand their fussy cutting experience. I'm also a trained Yoga Alliance instructor, and I will gently guide you as we mix focused breathing with a series of gentle stretches. This combination will increase your energy flow and creativity. No downward dog or lotus involved. From our chair with minimal standing, I'll lead you in a series of soft, easy stretches. These stretches combined with breathing in and breathing out will help us balance and refresh your mind. Regularly pausing to take a stretch break will leave you calmer and ready to create. I look forward to meeting you.
So as Gwen mentioned, she'll be doing a 3-hour Fussy Cutting Magic, the EPP Way class. This is an opportunity to discover the joy and artistry of fussy cutting and learn how to highlight motifs and create kaleidoscopic effects. She'll also be teaching a stretches for stitches our lecture, which is an opportunity to recharge your mind and body and relax and have an hour of mindfulness. This year, we'll also be welcoming to our faculty Jamie Horn. Jamie is a very creative quilter, known for her playful ingenuity and fearless approach to design. She runs a production sewing business and creates custom wedding attire and likes to share her love of fabric with students. She has some interesting classes to bring to us this year.
I'm Jamie Horn of Cranky Kangaroo, and I'm very excited to be teaching at the Minnesota Quilt Show this year. I have my quilted sneakers class, which is very popular and will sell out fast. This is not one of those classes where you have to buy an expensive sole kit. I'm going to show you how to hack the process with some dollar store materials. Then I have a foundation paper piecing class. This is called Pick of the Litter, and you have your choice of 3 different colorways so you can match your pup exactly. I have an EQ8 class for designing your own patterns. This is my Sunset Glow quilt. It's a rainbow quilt that works just as well in rainbow or just to showcase some large prints that you don't want to cut up into a tiny little quilt. I also have designing your own patterns from photos, and I have a class on vinyl. So I hope to see you there, and I think we'll have a lot of fun together.
Just to recap on Jamie's classes, she'll be teaching a quilted shoes and sneaker class, which is a 6-hour workshop, And as she mentioned, this is a way to avoid buying the kits for making sneakers, and she hacks that process with some cheaper materials. You'll design and assemble a pair of quilted custom kicks, which are colourful and comfortable. She'll also be teaching an EQ8 designing quilts from photos class, which again is 6 hours. In this, you'll be learning to import photos into EQ8 and transform them into foundation paper-pieced quilt patterns. As she mentioned, she has a sunset quilt, which is a beginner project for first-time quilters. She'll take you step by step through the process in selecting 6 favorite fabrics, arranging the blocks, and quickly piecing a quilt top that finishes at 59 by 74 inches. She'll give tips for You'll learn tips for custom quilting in large open spaces and also saving time with simple straight line quilting. Ideal for beginners to produce a quilt that isn't frustrating.
Alex, 4 minutes to break.
Okay. She also teaches the FPP pick of the litter, where you get to make this very cute pup in various colors that match the doggy that you want to match up with. Learning fun and approachable FPP techniques while creating a vibrant and charming project. And this is perfect for quilters of all level, teaching precision piecing and also color placement. And the final class that she'll be teaching with us is a vinyl notebook covers class, which is a 3-hour class. Here you'll learn to work with vinyl with this modern twist. It's a hands-on workshop, and you'll learn techniques for stabilizing vinyl, stitching, and combining it with fabric to create a sleek and durable professional look. Coming to the show faculty this year is Kelly McKenzie, who will return again with her long arm classes. Kelly is a Janome National Long Arm Sales Manager, and she was with us last year in the long arm room. In addition, this year we'll be also having Miriam Kofi. And Miriam is a Janome educator, and she will be teaching some new classes this year. And I'm going to let them speak in their own words about the classes that they'll be presenting.
Hi, my name is Kelly McKenzie, and I will be teaching at the Minnesota Quilt Show 2026. I'm super excited as this will be my second year doing it. And this year we have added another long arm teacher and a couple of new classes. So alongside me teaching will be Miriam Coffey, and here is her introduction.
Hi everyone, I'm Miriam Coffey. I'm an education specialist at Janome America, and one of my specialties is long arming. And I'm going to be teaching a few classes on the long arm. First of all, I'll be teaching all things pillows, as well as Stitch Like a Pro. I'm going to let Kelly give you a better description of all the classes that we'll be teaching. I hope to see you all there, and happy quilting!
One of Miriam Coffey's classes that she'll be teaching is all things pillows on a long arm. This class will hold 8 students, and we're teaching it once. In this class, you will make 2 different pillows to completion. The first pillow is going to be a couched feather, okay? So what we will do is create what I call our blank coloring sheet. We'll use the robotics on the Pro Stitcher Premium program that will be set up in our classroom, and we will stitch out a plain feather. Then we will come in and we will free motion quilt using our couching feet all of the inside pieces of that feather. This is a very fun and fulfilling class. The next part of that class will be reverse applique. In this class, we will do some layering and we will use a computerized quilting design to create our pillow. And we are going to have so much fun also making this pillow. So that is All Things Pillow on a Long Arm with Miriam Coffey. Another class that Miriam Coffey will be teaching, and she'll be teaching 2 of these classes, is Stitch Like a Pro. In this class, we will be using the Janome Pro Stitcher Premium software with a Janome Quiltmaker Pro 20 machine, okay? So this is a great class that if you've just purchased a Pro Stitcher Premium program or you're thinking about it, a great class for you because you will learn lots of little pieces about this program. In this class, you will be given a blank panel, and in that blank panel, we will teach you different techniques inside each one. Things such as combining designs to create a new edge-to-edge pattern, how to crop pieces of a pattern out to create a brand new design, how to do stitch in the ditch without using a ruler, how to create your own design using a feature called Mark where you create your own stitch pattern yourself, and so many more other things. So this is a great class. There will be 16 slots per class available. You will share a machine with another student in this class, but you get plenty of stitching time. It is a very fun class. So please join us for Stitch Like a Pro. One of the classes that I will be teaching is long arm quilting from A to Z. I will be offering this class twice, so sign up quickly. And this class is the perfect class for someone that's already begun quilting or someone that's never touched a long arm before. You will walk out of this class being educated on everything a beginner needs to know, plus learning a few quilting motifs in the process. We will begin the class with learning how to load a quilt on a frame, and then I will teach you everything you need to know about backings, batting, threads, needles, bobbin tension, top tension, and then we will begin stitching. In the stitching class, we're going to start back in kindergarten, and we're going to learn our alphabet from A to Z. And this is a panel that you'll be getting, and you'll be learning how to do different quilting motifs. This class is a lot of fun, full of information that is great for all beginners. So come join us. Another class that I will be offering is Quilt As You Go. In this class, we will piece and quilt our quilt top. This is a sample version of what you will be doing. It will be a finished minus the binding baby quilt. We will not do binding in the class itself. You will attach the binding once you get home. But in the class, we will piece and quilt this quilt using the Pro Stitcher Premium Robotics System. If you do not want to use the robotics for the quilting portion, you are welcome to free motion quilt that as long as you already know how to free motion quilt. If not, the robotics will be your option. The robotic quilting part of it, it is so much fun. You see the ease of the usage of using a robotic program, super easy. But the coolest part about this whole class is that you have it pieced and quilted before you leave. That is so exciting. So again, this class will be offered twice. I look really forward to seeing everybody again at the Minnesota Quilt Show. And until then, happy quilting.
So just to recap the classes that they'll be offering, Miriam will be offering Stitch Like a Pro, which is a 3-hour. And I'm just going to flick through these because they gave a lot of detail for each of the classes. Miriam will also be offering All Things Pillow on a Long Arm, which again is a 3-hour class. Then they'll be offering long arm quilting from A to Z. And also Quilt As You Go on a long arm. Another member of faculty that we'll be welcoming to the show this year is Joseph Melbauer. Joseph is an artist living in St. Cloud, who I'm sure a few of you already know, and he's exhibited his work regionally and internationally, and he has an interesting new technique that he wants to introduce to us. And I'll let him tell you a little bit more about that.
Hi, my name is Joe Mibauer, and I will be giving a class down at the Minnesota Quilt Show on June 13th at the Rivers Edge Convention Center called No Glue Raw Edge Applique. And this is the project we'll be working on. I will show you the process that I use to make quilts and wall hangings. You can turn pretty much any drawing or image into a quilt through this process. The only thing you'll want to know is before class is how to do free motion quilting. That's very important. But no glue means no heat and bond, no steam-a-seam, no glue stick. And you should find that this is a process that you probably have never seen before, because I've been doing it for like 10 years and I've never really showed anybody until now. So take the class, learn something brand new. It's the brand new shiny thing, and I'll see you there.
So just to recap, Joseph will be guiding through a unique raw edge applique technique, which lets you create detailed wall quilts without using heat and bond, steam a seam, or even a glue stick. With no adhesive, you'll keep the layers soft and flexible, which makes it super easy to stitch. You'll learn how to build shapes, create dimension, and also confidently secure your design using free motion stitching. This is something that you need to be comfortable with free motion to be able to participate in this class, and it's a new take on that. Another faculty member that we'll be welcoming this year is Cindy Seitz-Krug. Cindy's quilts have earned top honors at major shows, including AQS Houston, Road to California, and her Simply Santa Fe quilt won the Best of Show at Lancaster. I'll let Cindy tell you a little bit about what she's going to be teaching at the show.
Everyone, my name is Cindy Seitz-Krug, and I'll be teaching next June at the Minnesota Quilt Show. And I'm really excited to be going there for the first time. I will be teaching 3 classes on domestic machine quilting, as well as giving a lecture on domestic machine quilting. So the first class I'll be teaching is Mastering Machine Quilting, and that's a beginning machine quilting class, but in that class you learn all kinds of information, 3 types of feathers, stippling, continuous line designs, and lastly, how to handle your large quilts on your home sewing machine. So I hope you'll join me for that. The next class I'll be teaching is Gorgeous Gridded Quilting Designs, and that is a class that I absolutely love to teach. It's super easy, beautiful designs, and all my students are always exceptionally happy with what they learn in that class. And the last class I'll be teaching is Fun Fillers and Fun Filler Designs. And that is a half-day class, and I bring you a pre-marked quilt top that you get to work on and learn 6 different fun filler designs. And then I will also be giving a lecture called 20 Tips and Tricks for Better Machine Quilting. And that's a really popular lecture that has so many practical tips that will help you make your machine quilting more successful and enjoyable. So I hope to see you next June in Minnesota.
So just to recap on Cindy's classes, first of all, she'll be teaching Master Machine Quilting, Successful Machine Quilting Basics and Beyond, which is a 6-hour workshop. This is intended for beginners with no experience needed, and she will guide beginners and also returning quilters through hands-on skill building with essential tools, threads, needles, batting, and feet. And you'll learn strategies for managing large quilts as well on a domestic machine. The second class that she'll be teaching is gorgeous gridded quilting designs. And this is, as she mentioned, 10 different gridded designs from elegant classics to modern texture that will be stitched into a small quilted wall hanging. And this is an opportunity to expand some skills in the toolkit to take on some different types of machine quilting. She'll also be offering a fun filler stitches class, which is 3 hours. And here you'll be learning to enhance quilts with beautiful free motion textures in a dynamic filler stitch workshop. And she will be teaching 8 versatile background designs from pebbles and swirls to modern and movement-filled motifs. And here you'll be transforming a simple whole cloth piece into a striking wall hanging. She'll also be doing a lecture, as she mentioned, which is 20 tips and tricks for better machine quilting. And here she'll be sharing ways to make quilting easier, more comfortable, and also more enjoyable with some strategies and troubleshooting solutions. The next faculty member that we'll be welcoming to the show is Dion Stott. Dion is someone who has a long history of quilting, raised in a family of many quilters, and she loves sharing her different techniques with students. I'll let her explain a little bit more what she's going to bring to the show this year.
Hello and welcome to my sewing studio. My name is Dion Stott. I live in Heber City, Utah, and I am thrilled to be invited to come and teach at the Minnesota Quilt Show next summer. I wanted to take a minute and just give an overview of the classes that I'll be teaching at your show next summer. First is my binding class, Binding and Alternate Endings, featuring my book, The Ultimate Binding and Edge Finishing Guide for Quilting and Sewing, which has about 16 or more ways to finish the edges of your quilts. We won't do all 16. We're just going to do maybe half a dozen in our class, including a DIY technique to make a chenille, soft chenille edge, scallops, prairie points, and facing. There's 3 techniques on that edge. Faux piping, all done by machine. I love that one. And we'll wrap up with practicing scallops and that tricky little inner point that ain't so tricky. You'll love this class. And I do have kits available, optional kits if you'd like to purchase one of those for the class. Pre-quilted, pre-cut, ready to go. Another class I'll be doing is the Mod Cathedral Window Pillow. This is the project that we'll make in our class. It's a small project, so it can give you a taste of how to do a cathedral window all by machine. Then, Zircon Crystals class. This is a paper piecing class, and I'll teach my practically perfect paper piecing primer in this class. And this one features fat quarters. Here's a fun one with scraps. And this final one shows 1 layer cake plus equal amounts of background fabric makes this quilt. Such a fun quilt and such a variety that you can get with this Zircon Crystals quilt. This one, I love this one. So this is the Ypsilon quilt. And I called it Ypsilon because that is the symbol of the Greek letter Y. And this is kind of the Y quilt, the Y shape. And there actually is a Y seam, but this is a gentle slope, and so it's your gateway to practicing Y seams. And this quilt comes together so fast you won't believe it. Here's a smaller version with some bright colors. Here's one for my husband. I think it's a great guy quilt. This is all batiks. And in the class, it'll include how to do those inner corners. Again, another technique that's featured in my book, The Ultimate Binding and Edge Finishing Guide. Anyway, so much fun. And then finally, my Purdy Bird class with a pattern by Allison Richter. I have permission to teach her pattern. And this little bird has a little of everything in it. Curved piecing, paper piecing, curved paper piecing, precision piecing. And then we'll discuss 3 or 4 ways to do applique. I'm making this for my daughter that loves purple. So I am excited to come and teach at Minnesota Quilt Show and can't wait to see you all. Hope that you sign up for one of my classes and I will see you then. Thank you.
Just a quick recap of Dion's classes, because she presented in some detail what she's going to be doing. So Purdy Bird is a 6-hour class. The Binding and Alternate Endings class is a 3-hour workshop. The, I hope I say this right, Ypsilon quilt, did I say that right? I think I did, is a 3-hour workshop. The Zircon Crystals is another 3-hour workshop. And then that amazing Mod Cathedral window pillow. Astonishingly to me, it blows my mind that you can make that in 3 hours, but apparently you can.
Yes.
No, there's no possibility of Alex making that in 3 hours, probably not even in 3 weeks. Excitingly, this year, we've also paired us with the Paramount Art Center in St. Cloud to be able to offer some different classes than we have done in the past. The first of these will be with teacher Cindy Lobeck. Some of you may know that Sydney is a very experienced dyeing educator. Because we're using the Art Centre, we're able to bring dyeing to the show this year, which is very exciting. Cindy is well known for both the kits that she produces and some of the really cool, innovative techniques. And I'll let her present some of those interesting workshops that she's going to be giving.
Hi everybody, Cindy Lobeck here, bringing you the color from beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm gonna wait till the snow thaws, but I'm coming to Minnesota this year for the Minnesota Quilt Show. Haven't been since, I think, 2017, so I'm really excited about it. We're in the Paramount Art Center, and we've got a private classroom where we're gonna be ice dyeing and ombre dyeing and some printmaking. We've got a real diverse lineup of classes for you, and I'm excited to be coming to the Minnesota Quilt Show.
So I'll give you a little bit more information on each of those classes that she's going to be bringing. The first one is Charmed, which is a 6-hour class. You'll be using sustainable potato and cornstarch dextrin resists to create a set of reusable stencils and build your own coordinated patterned charm pack. By the end of the class, you'll have a custom charm pack designed entirely by you, which will have some of the designs and also some solids as well. That looks like a lot of fun. She'll also be doing another 6-hour class called Rad Ombres. And here you'll be learning a smart, methodical approach to creating smooth, beautiful color transitions with no bending, twisting, or dip dyeing guesswork. so you can be much more accurate about the results. You'll be learning how to create subtle value shifts from light to dark, and also exploring a rich range of colors that emerge when you blend two hues together. You'll be working with 18 by 44 half-yard fabric cuts, and you get as much fabric as you can dye in the 6 hours available, which sounds great to me. Challenge. So go home with as much of the stunning ombre fabric as you can create in the time of the class. She'll also be doing ice-dyed mandalas, which is a 3-hour workshop where you immerse yourself in the magic of ice dyeing and exploring mandalas of symbols of balance and creativity and connection. You'll be using snow and ice, and you'll be folding, and you'll be revealing 9 stunning 22 by 22 mini mandalas. And then she'll also be teaching another 3-hour workshop, Seika Shibori. Seika translates to snowflower, and it's the perfect name for the stunning collision of color that happens when the hues meet. You'll be creating striking cross-sections of color using Shibori folds and thoughtfully placed resists. And when you leave, you'll have a coordinated 12-piece collection of fat quarters, which you can then go on to create wonderful things with. Also this year, we'll be bringing some more textile-based faculty to the show. And Linda Johnson Morkey is a shepherdess who has an amazing herd of caracal sheep. I was lucky enough to visit her farm a while back, and she's a very accomplished felt maker. So she'll be teaching some wet felting techniques. I will let her talk a little bit more about what she's going to be doing at the show.
My name is Linda Johnson Murkey, and I'm excited to be teaching 3 classes at the Minnesota Quilt Show, June 11th through the 13th. And I will be teaching about wet felting. My first class is Felted Quilted. So we will make the felt in the morning by incorporating different colors and even real wool sheep blocks if you like, and we will quilt it in the afternoon for texture. My second class will be making a 3-dimensional change purse, which you can use for change or any other small items, and we will felt it with no seams and incorporate the clasp in the class. My third class will be a felted landscape, basically painting with yarns, which will be framed with felt, which you can use as a standalone piece or incorporate it into a larger project. Hope to see you there.
So just to recap on those classes, Linda will be teaching Felt It Quilt It, which is a 6-hour class. And you'll be using wool, water, and movement to explore how different wools felt at different rates and creating this amazing piece of dimensional felt fabric. She'll also be teaching a 3-hour felted change purse class, which is a great introduction to felting if you haven't felted before. And you get to leave with a useful item, which will be unique to your color choice. And she'll also be teaching Wet Felted Frames landscape class, which is another 3-hour class. And here you get to turn wool and fiber into a painted landscape using wet felting techniques. And as she mentioned, you can have this as a standalone piece, but it would also make a great panel for a larger piece. And then our final faculty member this year is Chiaki O'Brien. Chiaki is a Saori weaving and teaching artist. If you've never woven before, this is a great gateway drug into weaving. But even if you just take one class from her, this is an amazing, relaxing opportunity to just live in the moment, weave whatever you feel like weaving, and express how you feel in that moment. Jackie is an amazing teacher, and it's a really fun experience. I'll let her talk a little bit more about that.
Hello, my name is Jackie O'Brien. I'm excited to share saori weaving with you this June. You don't need any experience of weaving. Just come as if you are a 5-year-old who is good at following your heart instead of following your brain. This is my 30th year anniversary since I started saori. I was not a girl who liked something like this when I was younger. So saori changed my life, and I love working with my hands. Saori was found from a mistake. So don't worry about making perfectly rectangular pieces. Rather than that, you want to find out about your tendencies. And enjoy being in the moment, and have fun with other weavers, and admire that we are all different. See you in June.
So one thing about Chiaki's class, if you want to immerse yourself in a day of weaving, you can take 2 consecutive classes, register for the morning and the afternoon, and make a larger piece. And she will also be over at the Paramount Art Centre. So this year we'll also be doing lecture passes. You may recall, if you came to the show last year, that we had these. These will be available again. These will include all 7 lectures for one price, and they give you 50% savings on purchasing lectures individually. But you can obviously also purchase the lectures individually as well. So dates for the diary. The website will be launching on Tuesday, the 20th of January, for looking at the classes and the information. And registration will open for members at 10:30 on Tuesday, the 27th. There's a little delay between the two because we're doing some database work so that we can smoothly launch the registrations without any issues, hopefully. And just to recap on other activities that will be available during the show week, ready for the 2026 Quilt Walk, and that will take place on the Tuesday at 5 p.m. for those of you that are in St. Cloud then. We will also have our preview night. Preview night will be on Wednesday from 7 to 9 p.m. There will be an opportunity to meet the teachers, and if there are still any places available on some of the classes, you will be able to do a late sign up at that time. As I mentioned earlier, we will be having a fashion show again this year. The Sustainable Fashion Show will be on Thursday from 6 until 8 p.m. It will be featuring fashion created from sustainable materials and participation from both showgoers and also hopefully from some of the faculty as well. And we're pretty open as to how what we will include as items in the fashion show. So basically anything that's made from sustainable materials that you've made, coats, dresses, hopefully some overalls or pants maybe, sneakers. It's all good fun. There'll be a dessert buffet and also a cash bar, and it will be an opportunity to hear a presentation from Madai Delgado. Madai will be giving her Trash Talk lecture. where she talks about the world of textile sustainability and how to give textiles a new life. Also, our highly anticipated 2026 banquet. This will be on the Friday at 6:30 p.m. The highlight of the show week, and this year's keynote speaker will be Julia McLeod. Silken sponsorship will be available, and there'll be 10 tables that seat 8 people that you're available to pre-book so that you get guaranteed seating with your friends, and of course, door prizes to be won. And Julia will be giving her lecture, Patchwork Luxe, Silk Quilts Through the Ages, and it will be revealing the inspiring journey of silk in quilt making and how, rescued neckties and kimonos and saris have been repurposed. And then we get to another exciting part of the show, our 2026 special people. So we will announce in a moment the Quilter of the Year. So just to remind everybody what the criteria for the Quilter of the Year are, it was established to honor, obviously, a Minnesota quilter. It needs to be somebody who's dedicated time and talent to the preservation and the promotion of quilting, made a significant impact on the quilt community, both locally and nationally. It needs to be somebody with a collection of personal and professional quilt work, and they must live in Minnesota. And recipients will be awarded a booth where they're going to be given the opportunity to show a body of their work at the show so that we can all enjoy what they've created. And so our Quilter of the Year this year is Carol Hancock. And I'm just going to
He's online.
Carol, if you're online, you can introduce your bio and statement. Much more fun if you read it than me.
Can you hear me?
You're a little quiet there, Carol.
I am.
There you go.
But you can hear me. Okay.
I can indeed.
Okay. My name is Carol Hanshu, and I'm a quilter. It sounds like a AA introduction, but that's who I am. When I started quilting, I didn't like the idea of using someone else's patterns or templates, so I didn't. But I didn't know quite what a template was, so I made some of my own and tried it, and I didn't like them. So that was, you try it once and you decide if you like it or not. People mentioned famous designers and quilters, and I was so new to that I didn't know any of them. Consequently, it didn't matter to me what their names were. And I was pretty naive about that, but I wanted to create my own quilts. I have a background in art from college, and I could sew. So quilting was kind of a natural segue for me. And it was fun to do, and I like to sew, so it was fun. I decided after I started out at contemporary quilters and realized that not every quilt had to be a bed quilt, but you could have wall hangings and clothing and bags and you name it. And I also discovered that for any color that I was trying to mix with paint, I could find in the quilt store. So I was just trading fabric for paint or paint for fabric. I've been at this for 15 years and it doesn't seem long enough. I feel like I'm always trying to catch up. So in the course of doing some sewing and some quilting, I discovered that every artist, if you're a real artist, you want people to see your work. You don't just want to make it and hide it on a bed or under a bed. And that's who I am, I guess. So I like to show my quilts. If I can show the pretty ones and the funny ones and the fun ones and the social justice quilts, that pretty much sums up my stash of quilts. But once you've done that, there's got to be more. So the quilts don't have to be rectangular. They don't have to be square. When I discovered that I could make people and make them the size of regular people and cut them out like paper dolls and then quilt them, it was a whole new ball game for me. So if you're doing that, why not put faces on these people? Why not put expressions in them? Give them personalities and names and stories. I want my quilts to demand a second look by viewers and instill a brainworm after they've walked away that they can think about for a while. And I guess that makes me a storyteller. So my current adventure, besides, I started out not really knowing what technique in quilting I wanted to do. Partway through, I ended up doing raw edge applique or variations of that. And lately, I've started working in thread painting. That's what I'm doing now, and it's interesting. It's an adventure because it's so new to me and there are so many different things you can do with thread painting. So at the moment, I have an exhibit down at the Cora McCorvey Health and Wellness Center. It's in North Loop in Minneapolis, just off Glenwood and DuPont Avenue. It's a beautiful building and it has a fairly round walkway. Attached to that health and wellness building is a memory care building, and the people there use that hallway to put in their steps for the day. 10 times around the hallway gives you 1 mile. So that's what they're doing with their walkers and their wheelchairs. But lately, the audience has changed because people are coming into the building just to look at the artwork instead of being part of the customers who live there. So I asked what they thought about having a quilt show from one person, which they've never done, but they talked about it and agreed about it. And I have 70 quilts hanging on the walls in this place until the end of May in this year, which is so exciting to me. And they have several of my collections from the special exhibits at the Minnesota Quilt Show. So they have the voting line, which also was at the Minneapolis St. Paul Airport in Terminal 1. And it was there from about July until the day after the national presidential election. And my goal there was to convince people who were walking through that the minute they got home, they should put on their calendar to vote. So if I convinced people to go home and vote, I felt like it was a success. And that's what I'm doing. I'm working on a new project that I've been telling people, but I'm a little hesitant because I only have one piece done, and it will be big, and it will be not in the box of social justice because there's too many things in the box to think about. So I have to work outside the box, and going outside the box means the next project will be the circus. So the first piece is done, and it's the man on stilts. So I don't have any deadlines this time. I'll get done when I get done, and then I'll show it. So that's my plan. And I'm delighted to be chosen as Quilter of the Year. I thought a Quilter of the Year had to have several books written, several classes given, a well-known name in quilting. So that makes it extra surprising to me. But I'm honored, and thank you.
We're super delighted to have you as the Quilter of the Year, and really looking forward to seeing your exhibition of your work in June.
Thanks.
Okay. And then our next special person to announce is our scholarship recipient. And our charter membership scholarship is rewarded to a beginner quilter, and they get a year's membership to Minnesota Quilters. They get some registration priority. They get a couple of 3-hour classes or a 6-hour class at the show, and tuition for a lecture pass as well. And the idea is to give them some more exposure to artists that we bring in to the show. And this year's recipient is Keith Ricker. Yay. I don't think Keith is online with us this evening. He does know he's the recipient. If I'm speaking incorrectly and you're logged on as somebody else, Keith, just give us a shout. Okay, so I will then tell you a little bit about Keith in his own words. So he wrote, "Quilting was inevitable for me. Honestly, looking back at all the different turns in my life could have taken, all roads eventually led me to quilting. I grew up watching my mother and grandmother's sew and crochet. I started learning both from around age 12. I have always been artistic and dabbled in any craft or art form that I could get my hands on. Sooner or later, one way or another, my artistic endeavors would have brought me to quilting, but I'm eternally grateful for how and when I got into quilting. While I was working at Joann's, Twyla brought me into the world of quilting and into her guild. She's been a dear friend and mentor, and her guild has been a source of support and friendship that came to me in a time when I desperately needed it. I look forward to our meetings every month and learn from everyone there. Quilting means so much more to me than a hobby, craft, and art form. It's friendship and community, and I'm looking forward to learning more and expanding that community. As far as what I'd like to learn at the Quilt Show goes, there's so much I have to learn about quilting. I already know I love doing free motion quilting and would love to learn more and build on that skill. My weaker areas are binding and piecing, but I'm eager to learn more. Those would be the areas I'm most interested in learning about at the Quilt Show. So congratulations, and hopefully we can find a couple of classes at the show which will help you build on those skills that you want to develop. Just a few changes to cover in the judged category going into the 2026 show. So this year in the judge category, we have 2 new categories. So we're adding in an annual theme, obviously, which will change every year. This year, it's 2026 is quilts that use the one block wonder technique with panels and incorporating an aspect of sustainability into the quilt front, batting, back, or finish. This year, also new, which we're adding in, is youth, a judged category for youth. And these can be quilts of any style. They need to be 75% completed by somebody under the age of 18, which means they can have assistance from a guiding adult who's teaching them the skills. And that adult is excluded from the age requirements. The entrant must be... No need to reveal your age. The entrant must be sponsored by somebody, obviously, who is an adult, and there's a limit of 1 entry into this category. There are also some other changes to the judge category. So applique large will now be 1 or 2 people. Formerly, it was 2 categories, 1 and 2 people. Mixed techniques will now be blended into other techniques, so it forms 1 category together. Modern, which has been a large entry category for us, is now 1 and 2 people, and formerly it was 1 or 2 people, so that splits that category. And we've changed the upcycled category to be sustainable, so it expands the scope of that. And so that will now be quilts of any style created with minimal negative environmental impact and promoting eco-conscious practices. And the example that's given is upcycling textiles with a former life unrelated to quilting, using your, or if you're lucky, someone else's scraps and stash, using fabric with sustainable farming practices like organic cotton, hemp, or bamboo. And this category will give special consideration to how creatively the materials are used. And just a note here that there are some changes to some of the other categories in the way that they're wordsmithed. So when entering categories this year, just really read the judge details flyer carefully to make sure that you're meeting the criteria there. Another exciting thing this year is that we will be increasing the judged exhibits from 180 to 200 judged exhibits, and that will give us the room to allow each person to be able to enter 3 pieces if they would like. Each obviously has to be into a separate category, and formerly you were able to enter 2 pieces. So this gives you an opportunity to add to that and enter an additional piece. Just some dates for the diary. I'm not going to read through these. These slides will be available and this information will be published elsewhere. But basically, the important one, deadline, 22nd of April. And here we are with the non-judged 2026 categories. A couple of changes to this. Firstly, you'll be able to enter 3 pieces instead of 2. And also we will be accepting drop-off at 9 quilt shops this year through the state, which will make it easy to be able to have your pieces submitted. And a bit that I find very exciting, our 2026 special exhibitions. So just a very brief overview of what those will be this year. We will be welcoming Storytime from Cherrywood. We will actually be the second place to exhibit the Storytime exhibition. I don't have a picture of any of it because it hasn't concluded yet. So this is going to be super new, fresh, and something that most people won't have had the opportunity to see yet. Abyss, we're not receiving the Cherrywood Abyss exhibition. We're doing a bit of a spin on it, and we are inviting you to exhibit your quilt if it wasn't selected for the national tour. So We're not going to say that it's abyss failures because that's rude. Because there are so many wonderful things that never make it into the national show. We're going to create our own exhibition of top quilts for the Abyss Cherrywood Challenge, and be exciting to see as a one-off quilts that nobody else will get to see anywhere else. I'm very excited to see Julia McLeod's Ghost Quilts exhibit. I'm going to read her artist statement for this. I think that this is going to be something really interesting and fun. So this series of work was inspired by the Depression era quilts, in which older, well-worn quilts were used as batting beneath new quilt tops. And in many cases, the outline of the original blocks remained faintly visible, shadowing through the surface. So that sense of layering of time, memory, and material lies in the heart of these ghost quilts, much like modern buildings that incorporated glass flooring to reveal historic foundations below. And she invites people to look beneath the surface. So each piece in this exhibition is constructed by layering contemporary compositions over older quilts. So I use sheer fabrics, tulle, chiffon, organza, and devore, sourced from secondhand garments, scarves, and curtains. These delicate fabrics allow the original quilt beneath to be partly visible, creating a dialogue between the past and the present. The underlying quilts vary in origin and also in the technique. Some are hand-pieced and stitched, others are assembled by machine. In one case, the sheer quilt top preserves shattered silk beneath. In another piece, my own sheer overlay is so fragile, it demanded a kind of mending, which is an act of further connecting the two layers. As I work, I reflect on the unknown hands that have touched the materials in each of these quilts, the energy embedded in each stage of planting, spinning, weaving, stitching, gifting, discarding, repurposing remains. My additions are not meant to obscure, but to extend to the life of these objects. They add another chapter to the story. And that's one of the pieces that she will be bringing with us. With her. To us, yes, that's the word I was looking for, to us. We will also be welcoming the Trash Talk Sustainability and Focus exhibition from Madai Delgado, and her artist statement is, "I can't imagine a more expressive, comforting, and connecting medium than textiles. The stories they carry are a powerful reminder that a sustainable future is important to responsibly move our craft forwards for future generations. My creative practice is an extension of my personal ethos. I favor scrappy over consistency, colorful chaos over convention. I'm energized by textures, colors, and forms, but most importantly, by people. Like any art form, quilt making is a conversation between creator and viewer. I invite you to look a little deeper and lose yourself in my world of color. Join on my reuse, repair, upcycle, and mending journey. I consider myself a trash collector by conscientiously choosing the discarded and combining it with textiles deemed beautiful. My work is a delicious stew where every textile is given the same opportunity to shine." So we are excited to welcome that exhibition from Madai. And then also the Hennepin History Museum has actually a fairly extensive collection of quilts, interestingly. And we will be receiving a collection of crazy quilts from the 1880s. And we look forward to seeing those. And those aren't regularly on view at the Hennepin History Museum, so it will be something which is a one-off opportunity. And then the Iowa Fiber and Beyond will be presenting bridges. And again, I'll quickly read this. In 2024, the Iowa Fiber and Beyond Group embarked on our bridges project, breaking a photo of the University Avenue Bridge in Des Moines, Iowa, into 3 sections. Selecting one section, 12 by 24, each member participant artist was challenged to implement any techniques they liked and maintain the alignment of the bridge and the waterline. And I'll just forward to, you can see they've constructed a quilt using the different panels of the bridge. That's going to be super fascinating to see. And then the final one that we'll present this evening is Plaids by Daphne Young, and she created a collection of quilts from a box of plaid fabric scraps and samples from a golf clothing manufacturer. So she has some beautiful quilts that are created from those recycled materials. A very brief recap of our 2026 President's Challenge. This was presented in detail by Quilts of Valor, who will be the recipient of this year's quilts. If you would like to know more about this, you can go onto our YouTube channel and you can watch in detail the meeting that launched that. Also, you can go to qovf.org, where it gives you all the details of the standards, fabrics and patterns which can be used for the quilts submitted to this challenge. Divulging the 2026 challenge packet, and you might wonder from the graphic what on earth the challenge packet this year is going to be. It will be silk and stars. So you're going to get striped cotton and some various bits of silk. And we've supplied the silk and you get to supply the stars. So each entry has to have 2 stars. The complete rules are enclosed in the packet. As usual, the packets are $5 plus tax. And if you want to submit it to be displayed at the show, it's got a registration cost of $20. Those packets are available at MQ. You can purchase them either this evening for people that are here, I believe. Also, they'll be available on Saturday, and they can also be ordered as part of your registration when you register for the show. And the bit that everybody's been looking forward to, the door prizes. So, we're going to have 14 winners over both days. They're prizes for Zoom and in person. So I see my people here that are pulling the bits of paper. There's 1 prize for a lecture pass. There's 1 for a complimentary entry for a judged quilt, a complimentary entry for a non-judged quilt, and there's 4 day ticket passes. So that be 7 prizes. No, 7 for Zoom, 7 for here. So if you've turned up in person, you get a very good chance of winning. Yay! Before we conclude, has anybody on Zoom got any questions which they would like to ask? So thank you very much for attending, and good night.